Shock the system. Bulletcast for life.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are minutes away. We're removed from NXT Takeover 31. I'm your host, the Microphone Messiah. I didn't win the Bulletcast Championship, and it hurts. I kind of know what Kyle O'Reilly is going through right now. But on the line is the current reigning defending Bulletcast champion. He hates Canada. He hates my people. 8-time Bulletcast champion, BT, Brandon Tanguma. How's it going, bud?
Phillip, you know.
You're a 9-time. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting.
I just want to make it clear that I actually had a title defense as Bulletcast champion. And once again, I don't want to rub it in your face, but I think for the second consecutive show, I was perfect in my predictions. So not only am I winning, I am being perfect through 2 shows.
Oh, are you the new Mr. Perfect?
I mean, I don't want to go that far because, I'm just going to be perfect for a little bit. And then, you build me up and then I just fall flat on my face and I have to job out to somebody.
I mean, you have 2 more defenses. There's Full Gear and then there's Survivor Series.
Which I don't think I've ever ever won an AEW show, which, it is what it is, but I will take my small victories in getting NXT Takeover 31 perfectly correct.
You're going to have like a 30-day run, man. If you don't retain at Full Gear, that's 30 days. That's nice.
I will take it. I also had a pretty good day in fantasy football, so your boy is flying high right now.
There you go, man. There you go. All right, we're here to recap NXT Takeover 31. Brandon, what was on the card?
Well, this was kind of a thrown together card, kind of a last minute takeover, but I think a good takeover nonetheless. Now, this show emanated from the quote unquote Capital Wrestling Center. It is the Performance Center, all gussied up. Phillip, what did you think of the Capital Wrestling Center? They started off with NXT with kind of a history behind Capital Wrestling. Vincent J. McMahon's, his territory, his kind of entity. So a real throwback to the history of WWE.
Well, I love it, man. Capital Wrestling, Jess McMahon, the grandfather of Vinnie Mac. He and his son Vincent J. McMahon, Vinnie Mac's dad. They started that together. You saw the time stamp, the date, 1977, when all this was taking place. I mean, what was it called again? I forgot that quick.
The Capital Wrestling Center.
Capital Wrestling, I mean, that Buddy Rogers, Classy Freddie Blassie, Gorgeous George, the men of that ilk, of that era wrestled in that territory. So it was a nice homage. We all know Triple H. He's a historian. He loves to pay homage to the business and those that have come before him. So plus he's in the family. So I thought that was a really nice touch. Aesthetically, it looked great. Were there actually live fans there? I know I saw like a lot of Performance Center people and we got some Thunderdome roam, but were there live fans in attendance?
I don't know if you would consider them live fans. They're probably like close friends, family, like things we've seen beforehand. We did get the Thunderdome-esque fan panel of people around the crowd. So we had an aspect of live people in attendance and also the Thunderdome of virtual people there.
I thought it was all fine. It looked different. It felt like a takeover. When I found out they're going to the Performance Center, I'm like, oh, okay, it'll be all right, but they outdid themselves. I thoroughly enjoyed this. The cage on the plexiglass, it made it feel kind of gritty, and I like that.
Yeah, I like the aesthetic that they've had at Full Sail for the last few months. They've kind of implemented the WrestleMania 30 X's and kind of make that a cool little addition to the entrance of NXT. But I think the Capital Wrestling Center that they're dubbing, the name itself, I think it is a little kind of corny or kind of dumb, but I think the aesthetic, kind of the dark, NXT has always kind of been a darker type of arena that they play in. So I liked it. I thought it was cool. And overall, I think if whether it be for safety reasons or for practical reasons, being in the Performance Center, I liked it.
No, absolutely. So first match on the card, what do we got?
The first match, the opening match, was Damian Priest versus Johnny Gargano for the NXT North American Championship. Damian Priest retains and continues his reign as a North American champion at 18 minutes and 45 seconds. I said going into this match that Johnny Gargano had an uphill climb being the heel in this match because Damian Priest is so much bigger I thought he did a good job. The match itself, I mean, I thought it was fine. Philip, what do you think of this match?
It didn't feel like it went 18 minutes to me. It kind of like flowed very nicely. I wish somebody would have taken a bump on the steel step, but that's all and fine. I gave it a B. I gave it a B. I thought it was just fine. Nice opener for the show. Johnny Gargano's new music, I absolutely love it. I really love it a lot. It really works for his heel character. Damian Priest, just doing the damn thing. Really going toe to toe with one of NXT's finest, a takeover legend, you could say. And I thought both men played their roles very well.
This was a classic Johnny Takeover match where it was a longer match. I thought it was a really good match, but that at the end of the day, Johnny Gargano takes a loss. I got to agree with you. I'm going to go with a B. I thought the match was good, a fine opener. I think the matches for the most part on this show, because it was kind of rushed together, and I think this was one of the matches that had kind of the most, I don't know if I'd say story behind it, but it had a lot of television time behind it. So it kind of felt like a bigger deal than maybe some of the other matches. And I thought they did a good job. I mean, Johnny Gargano, one of the best wrestlers in the company. Damian Priest, I'm still not completely sold on him, but I think when it comes to his in-ring work, the matches he has will be good. I think it's kind of the character work behind everything is the things I have questions about.
Yeah, I mean it. Ooh, Jesus, shook my camera there. Yeah, it is what it is, man. I mean, I just don't know. I just don't know.
His whole character, he's a baby face and he's like a ladies' man. And I don't know. I just don't know if it's because he doesn't come across that way to me, or he just, isn't playing it the right way. It for some reason, it just doesn't really connect with me. I kind of liked his heelish persona where he was kind of more of a dark, sinister guy, kind of more on the Aleister Black realm, which I don't know if they kind of wanted to get away from that because it was too close to Aleister Black. But yeah, just something, I don't know if it's because he's a baby face and playing this character, just it's not really clicking with me, but he's still doing like good enough work that he's not really like turning me off.
I mean, he's a tall guy. He uses the razor's edge. He's a ladies' man. Is he gonna start walking around and be like, "Hey yo, Chico"? Is he gonna start doing that?
He has the deeper voice, so if he wants to just full on cosplay Razor Ramon, I would not be shocked if that happens.
I I I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think it might actually be funny.
All right, next up, we had Kushida versus Velveteen Dream. This match kind of stems from the number one contender match, and Velveteen Dream ended up losing. He took his aggressions out on Kushida, and that's really where this whole feud really started. And then Kushida gets the win in 13 minutes. We get Kushida, who's always a Back to the Future guy, and then we get Velveteen Dream, kind of very Doc-esque, but Kushida gets the win. Very strong tap out win. And then in the end, Kushida really beats him down. I don't know if we should get too much into the behind the scenes aspect of this, but this was a very strong win against Kushida. And this is why I kind of picked Kushida, because Velveteen Dream hasn't been portrayed very well since the whole speak out movement has taken place. So it kind of went with what I was thinking. Kushida gets the win, push him strong, and maybe Velveteen Dream takes a very long hiatus, gets buried, isn't with the company anymore. I don't know.
I don't think he won't be with the company anymore. I think, Kushida's first takeover, he defeats one of Takeover's and one of NXT's brightest stars. I did pop when there was like a little bit of a mishap and Beth was like, "Oh, Velveteen Dream turned his back to the future." I'm like, that's funny. I get it. All in all, I thought this was a very strong, decisive win for Kushida. The just hanging on to that hammerlock submission ruthlessly. Dream, he hit his purple Rainmaker elbow drop, but he there was some impact onto his left arm, and that caused a long delay, and then he went to the cover. I thought it was going to be like some Triple H Booker T WrestleMania 19 where like 40 seconds in between the cover and then he gets the pin anyway. That didn't happen. All in all, congratulations, Kushida. Maybe he's a challenger for Damian Priest moving on for the NXT North American Championship, or maybe he goes after the winner of the main event.
I could see that. And I can also see him being in the cruiserweight division. I know they're trying to really build up that division. And Kushida, as much as I like him wrestling wise, I don't know if he is going to fit into that North American or NXT championship picture. I think going up against a very, straightforward heel in Santos Escobar in the cruiserweight division, I think that's a good place to slot him at, but I don't know if Triple H and NXT really sees him being any more than that. I'm going to go with a B-. I thought it was good action. Nothing really, too great, but nothing too bad on the other side as well. Then we
Yeah,
got an
I,
announcement.
I gave it a B. I gave it a B minus.
We get an announcement that Halloween Havoc is returning October 28th. And guess what? It's going to be hosted by your girl, Shotzi Blackheart.
Yes, sir. That's town business. Yay, area. You feel me? I'm down. I love Halloween Havoc. It's one of my favorite WCW pay-per-views of all time, even though I was like 2 when it was going on. Just the set. The set is really what sold it for me. I'm like, yo, this is dope. Why doesn't WWE do something like this? Thank God for NXT. Let's just get all the old WCW pay-per-views. You know what I mean? We had what Great American Bash. You know, we got Halloween Havoc. Let's get NXT sold out. I'm all for it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, people ask for WWE to use those classic WCW pay-per-views all the time, and they've used Starrcade, but kind of used it as a house show, little pay-per-view throw off on the network. But NXT, they did Great American Bash. They're doing Halloween Havoc. I think it's a really nice way to kind of give an homage, but then also make NXT feel a little special. They are in a quote-unquote wrestling war, so maybe they can build up this match, have a title match, whether it be tag team, NXT, women's, whatever. And I think it could be a lot of fun. I mean, October 28th, only a few days away from Halloween. And if Shotzi's hosting, who knows what kind of shenanigans will be going on.
Absolutely. Shotzi Blackheart, a very eccentric person in the realm of Halloween and all things spooky.
I think she's also a collector of Halloween and spooky things. So go and check that out on her Instagram if you guys are interested. Speaking of the Cruiserweight division, we have the Cruiserweight Championship match. Santos Escobar, the champion, defended against Isaiah Swerve Scott. This has been the marquee Cruiserweight title feud for a very long time. Legado del Fantasma has been a strong team going on NXT as Undisputed Era kind of not fades out, but not doing a lot on television. Legado del Fantasma has kind of been the main group leading things in NXT. And at the end of the day, Santos Escobar wins and retains in 15 minutes and 18 seconds. We get a little bit of Legado del Fantasma shenanigans kind of at the, back end, 6/8 of the way through the match. I completely forget who Isaiah Swerve Scott's friend is. He comes out, Ashante Adonis. Thank God I found his name in the report.
Ashante Adonis, man, I love it. He has a charisma and a presence about him. He said, it's 205 from the 215. That's the Philadelphia area code. So I'm like, okay, West Philly, born and raised. I feel it, man. I like that dude. I'd love to see him challenge Escobar for the Cruiserweight title. Maybe build that up. And then he wrestles him at Halloween Havoc just for a nice little one-off. I'm down. I'm down for whatever they're throwing at us. All in all, I thought this was a great match, though. I gave it an A. It was great work by Swerve, the near falls, and then Swerve kicking out of the it's like a Matt Leak driver, what Escobar does for his finish. Nobody's ever kicked out of it. Swerve giving him the house call and all this other great stuff. But I thought the finish was creative and new. He hits his head on the turnbuckle or the rail on the apron, and then he gets in. Escobar hits him with a new move. It's like a double underhook.
Double underhook face buster.
It wasn't really a face buster though, because like his knees went into like his chest.
I don't know. I'm just reading off the website.
Maybe like a gut buster or something. I don't know. All in all, I thought it was nice. I gave it an A.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna give it like a B plus, A minus. I said at the beginning that Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest was kind of the match that had the most storyline juice behind it. But honestly, this match probably had the most storyline behind it. They've been working together for a very long time. Isaiah Swerve Scott has been kind of the only guy to really get one up on Santos and Legado del Fantasma. And I liked how the heel faction comes in kind of, you think at the end to kind of interfere, but the babyface has a plan. He has his friend behind him. His friend, fights him off. So then it's the odds are even yet again. But then in the end of the day, the heel ends up getting the win. Pretty clean, pretty decisive. So it still builds up the heel, but it also kind of protects the babyface at the end of the day. I still think Swerve has, a lot of upside, but I think at the moment right now, they're definitely trying to build up Fantasma and especially Escobar.
Yeah, 100%. I can't wait to see where Santos Escobar goes from here. And Swerve, He took a loss. He'll be a champion in NXT. Probably not like this year, but I see 2021 doing bigger and better things for him and the rest of the world.
We get the penultimate match. Io Shirai, the champion, defending her NXT Women's Championship against Candice LeRae. And Io Shirai gets the win in 16 minutes and 43 seconds. Io hits her moonsault for the finish. We get some Johnny Gargano shenanigans. We get a ref bump. Johnny, because it's WWE, if you just put on a referee shirt, then that automatically makes you a referee for some reason. So Candice tries to pin Io. Io kicks out, and all the shenanigans kind of take place at the end. But Io gets the win. We get a Spanish Fly followed by a moonsault. Io wins. What do you think about the match, Philip?
I gave looking at the. I gave it a B. I gave it a B plus. I thought it was good. I mean, look, and then down at the performance center, they have a referee training class. So yes, you can just put on a shirt and become a referee. It's totally fine. I like how the referee like wasn't dead forever. He got up relatively quickly after taking all those hits from the ladies in this match. The what are you doing here? What are you doing here? I'm like, oh, ha 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 ha. Io Shirai, resilient. Io Shirai, yeah, resilient as all hell, getting hit with the championship, kicking out, making nice work of Candice LeRae. The Gargano way didn't get the job done. What's left for the Gargano family?
I don't know. Tegan Knox, it has come out, unfortunately, that she has yet again torn her ACL. We kind of thought that Tegan and Candice were either on a collision course or maybe team up and be a tag team for the women's division. I mean, I don't know if we're going to talk about this more in the actual Bulletcast, but Tegan Knox going down with another injury, her third in like 4 years. This just sucks.
I know, like it's obviously it's the same one like twice, but like, damn, really? That's 3 times? I mean, in WWE, certain people don't get a lot of opportunities because they're quote unquote injury prone, and Tegan could become one of those people. I hopefully once she's back in like a year and a half or however long this injury is going to take, she kind of picks up where she left off, get some steam rolling, and eventually is in the main event for the NXT Women's Championship.
Yeah, I've always been really high on Tegan. I think she has a lot of upside, but it's almost kind of one of those things that I want WWE to kind of protect the wrestler from themselves. I don't know if they just kind of say, don't wrestle, we'll give you a performance center job, you can be a coach, and here you go. You don't got to risk your health, because I mean, it's not only just the actual knee injury that's devastating, it's the rehab and having to rehab for over a year to try to get back. She's done it. She's going to do it 3 times at this point. And I know I've seen the Chronicle or whatever it is about her. And she said that, I mean, it's not only draining physically, but also it's draining mentally as well. And so not to have to do it for a third time, I don't even know, how someone can go through all that.
I don't either. It's crazy. Get well soon, Tegan. Obviously, we want to see you back as soon as possible, but it's just not looking good for you right now. It's unfortunate. Tony Storm's back.
Yeah, Tony Storm is back, but not the only return we saw on NXT after Io won. They have kind of obviously kind of like the Thunderdome with the group of fans everywhere. They put up Tony Storm's face on the Tron, and she was talking to Io Shirai, saying that she is back in NXT, but she's not the only person to return. We've seen some vignettes on NXT about some person on a motorcycle trying to reclaim their NXT championship. People kind of speculated that maybe it was Bo Dallas or kind of a male superstar, but in the last few days, we've seen some more rumblings that it was possibly Ember Moon. And after Tony Storm appears, we get more of those same vignettes. The person arrives, and it was Ember Moon. So we get Tony Storm and Ember Moon seemingly on the horizon to challenge Io Shirai.
I'm all for it. That's I've missed Ember Moon. I thought she was still like very critically injured, or I don't even, it was like a shoulder injury or something. I don't know, but it's nice to freshen up the women's division there. I mean, Tony Storm wrestling Rhea Ripley, Ember Moon wrestling Candice LeRae, Sonya Deville Jr. getting in the mix. I think it's going to be fun for the NXT women's division.
I believe Ember Moon's injury was an Achilles injury. Her and Xavier Woods were kind of Achilles brethrens because they're both suffering from that injury. I heard possibly it could have been career ending, but good for Ember to come back. Back to the match. Io and Candice.
Achilles brethren, but she's a woman.
Brethren. people. I don't know. Achilles people. There you go.
There we go.
The match itself between Io and Candice, they've had a match much better than this. I think at a takeover maybe earlier on in the year or last year. It definitely wasn't up to that ilk. So I think I'm going to give it like a slight downgrade, maybe like, a B. I like the match, but I feel like they can do a lot better. But there's no crowd. The match was kind of last minute, kind of put together. I don't know if the Tegan injury had anything to do with it, if that kind of factored into the finish. But overall, I think people are going to talk a lot more about the returns more than the match itself.
Absolutely, yeah. Candice can go off and play house with Johnny, where they have that picture of Doc Hendricks, and yeah.
Then we got our main event: Finn Balor, the NXT Men's Champion, taking on Kyle O'Reilly, the challenger. We had the classic NXT main event kind of, build up with the suspenseful music with Kyle O'Reilly and the Undisputed Era walking up. Kyle O'Reilly makes his entrance by himself. No Undisputed Era to be seen throughout the entire match. No interference, no nothing. Finn Balor comes out, does his entrance, and they have a mat-based, hard-hitting classic. At the end of the day, Finn Balor gets the win at about 28 minutes and 38 seconds. Both men were bleeding from the mouth, and these two guys just came out. I believe Kyle O'Reilly was very motivated because this was his biggest match, probably of his career. Main event, NXT Takeover on the WWE Network. And I think he definitely did show out. And I think he proved a lot of people that Kyle O'Reilly is no joke. And unfortunately, he didn't get the win, but I think he definitely did, stand out to a lot of people.
Just from the presentation of it all, O'Reilly being walked to the entranceway by his camp, the Undisputed Era, and Finn going at it alone. Kyle O'Reilly, he's dominated the indie scene for like 15 years, a master of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ. That really showed here: the strikes, the combinations, the submission holds, the Achilles tendon locks on Finn Balor. But all in all, the Prince, he stepped up to the game, retained his championship, and Finn XT is in full effect, baby. I gave it an A. I thought this was a technical mat-based classic, just like you said. I loved it.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an A as well. Then at the end of the match, we had a little bit of shenanigans. We had Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor both shake hands, show a lot of respect to each other. So we got no heel turn, no Undisputed Era breakup, but we had Ridge Holland, who we've seen a little bit of a push recently on NXT. He carried out an unconscious Adam Cole, dumps him over the barricade, and then the rest of the Undisputed Era come out, which I would assume leads to a Ridge Holland-Adam Cole feud. I don't know if that's exactly what everyone wants to see, but maybe that's what we're getting, whether it be a tag team match, Ridge Holland, Adam Cole straight up. There's a lot of different directions we can go right now.
Rich Holland, I think it was this past week on NXT. I saw him for the first time. He impressed me. Just trunks and boots, no knee pads. I've always loved that look, that Gotch wrestling style. I like this guy. I'd love to see him versus Adam Cole. He keeps Adam out of the title picture and freshens him up and gives him a new guy to work with.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, I don't know if I'd say assumed, but kind of thought that maybe Undisputed Era would get involved, some which way, whether that be behind Kyle O'Reilly or maybe, Kyle O'Reilly getting screwed over by Undisputed Era. I think there's a lot of different ways that NXT could have went, but I really appreciated them just going straight ahead with a straight up Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly match. They go out there, beat the hell out of each other. And then at the end, Rich Holland, I'm still not completely sold on him. He's a former rugby player. Very, old school, straightforward guy, as you said, no knee pads and everything of that nature. So, I'm not completely against him, but he's going to have to prove himself to me to kind of justify him being in this main event feud with Undisputed Era and Adam Cole.
He'll prove himself in the ring, I think that's where he would most likely excel. I've never heard the guy talk. So, all in all, I think it'll work out for the best, have a big blow off, or not a blow off match, but a big match between him and Adam at Halloween Havoc.
All right, Phillip, final thoughts. This was kind of a thrown together NXT Takeover 31. How'd you grade this overall?
Give it a B, not a plus, not a minus, just a B. Good things did happen. Solid work was done by all the men and women that were involved with this show. Yeah. Give it a B.
I'm going to go with a B minus. I think it's really hard for me to give this match a C because the wrestling in ring I thought was really stellar. It's definitely on the lower end of takeovers. As I've said, the storylines and the feuds going into it wasn't exactly super hot, but I think all the wrestlers delivered. There was not a bad match on this show. Maybe I wish that the tag team division was spotlighted a little bit more, but I thought all the wrestlers definitely did deliver. And we got Halloween Havoc on the horizon. Who knows if that's going to be more of a takeover-esque TV show or kind of just a special to get some eyes put on it. But I thought it was, a solid show for what it was, but it wasn't in that higher echelon of takeovers that we've seen in the past few years.
Yeah, I mean, it just has another thing to do with the fans not being there. It's really goes back to that. I think once we do get live crowds back in attendance at a safe capacity, that's when we'll really start to feel like a true takeover yet again. And the same for all wrestling companies throughout the globe, whether they're WWE or not.
Yeah, and I know you're not the big New Japan guy, but if you guys are missing the crowd atmosphere, I don't want to get political here, but New Japan has full crowds for the most part, and if everyone's wearing a mask, so it might be a little different visually.
I'll just say it. Japan's better than America. Wake up, you fucks. Wear a fucking mask. It's not hard.
Well, we've seen in the past that maybe once someone gets coronavirus, maybe they take coronavirus a little more seriously.
Yeah, we've seen that recently with our commander in chief. But all in all, takeover, it happened. We got political. Jesus, we can't be doing that on the show, Brandon. We're gonna lose all the viewers.
Well, it's Bulletcast After Dark. We can get dirty and political.
Oh, hey now. Let's talk about that debate. No, I'm joking. We're not going to do that here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Cindy's Into the Stratosphere was released yesterday, which was Saturday. I forgot to promote it. Just promoted it right now. Please go check it out. She talks AEW heels, gives a preview for Impact Wrestling Victory Road, which they did a pay-per-view yesterday nobody knew about, and all that other stuff. I hope you enjoyed this. Brandon and I will be back Thursday for Bulletcast, episode 192, I think. We're 8 weeks away from episode 200. I got a lot of big things planned for that. Thank you guys so much. Stay clean, stay strong, stay safe, stay quarantined. Diamonds are forever, and so is the microphone messiah.